at 8 Eastern right here on ESPN. The Knicks coming off 9 days rest after they swept the 76ers. They will face the Cavaliers, who are coming off just 1 day of rest after going 7 against the Pistons. Again, game 1 in the Garden tonight. So after seeing how slow the Thunder started off yesterday, how imperative is it for the Knicks to win game 1? Wilbon.
This is set up like the Philly series, where the 76ers were coming off that tough 7-game series against the Celtics, and you just knew they weren't going to have very much in the tank to play game 1 in Madison Square Garden. Cleveland's facing a very, very, very similar set of circumstances. Now, Cleveland's a better team. The two bigs we've seen deliver.
Cleveland, you think, is the better team here?
No, Cleveland's a better team than Philly.
Okay, yes, true.
So, no, I'm picking the Knicks in 5 in this series. But part of that is I'm counting on the Knicks to come out. They could be down 6 or 7 at halftime. They could be down halftime playing through the rust. Cleveland's a better team than Philly. I expect a bigger challenge. Mobley and Allen have looked good at times against Toronto and when it counted against Detroit. But I don't see them being able to break through a game 1. The Knicks need to continue the way they played the last, since game 4 in the Atlanta series. And obviously in the next series against Philly, I expect the Knicks to start with a commanding presence in this series. Brunson first, everybody following, helps if Anunoby's healthy. But the way the Knicks are playing is the way they should be playing.
Cameron.
You haven't been on the show, Mike, with me. I'm from New York. It's hard to trust the Knicks. It's 53 years of disappointment. You know where we're at?
I understand.
You know where we're at? And listen, this is where big bro Stephen A. comes in at. Because, him and Perk get mad at me. We were here last year. You beat Boston, right? He said, oh, we're going to the championship. Oh, we're about to go to the championship. Oh, Part two. The Tyrese Halliburton put an end to that. I want to say the Knicks are going to the championship. Should they win this? Absolutely. Not just the last game will be when we're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers coming off a 7-game series against Detroit. They came against a 7-game series against the Raptors too. So they're 14 games in the playoffs. The Knicks look dynamic. Last time we seen the Knicks play, they committed a home invasion with no mask. They took everything from Philly, the heart, the couches, the fish, everything from Philly. And by the way, I don't want to hear anything about Philly. We own the cheesesteaks too now. I don't want to hear about how you used to write for them. I don't want to hear about Dr. J. I don't want to hear about Moses Malone, Kevin Hart. Anything.
They got the ass kicked.
Yeah, I don't even think the word phone should start with PH. It should start with the letter. I don't want to hear nothing from Philly. The Knicks should come in and win this series. I'm going to go 6 games because I'm just going to give Cleveland the benefit of the doubt because of their talent. But the Knicks should advance to the NBA Finals. But we've been here before.
Here's the deal, y'all. I got the Knicks winning this series of 6 games out of respect for Donovan Mitchell, who's a career 27-point-per-game scorer in the postseason, okay? So I'm looking at him. I'm looking at what he's capable of doing. A couple of games, I can see him exploding and making that kind of noise, and the Cavaliers winning a couple of games. That's all I got for them. I ain't got more for them than that. The New York Knicks should win this series. When Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby were guarding Donovan Mitchell this year, he only shot like 34% from the field. I expect more of the same this go round as well. I don't expect James Harden and them to be able to help him with so much. I think the Knicks, the way the Knicks have been playing, how fluid they've been offensively, particularly since Mike Brown put the ball in Cat's hands and Cat's been more of a facilitator and he's been more actively involved. That combined with the rest and them being able to get OG back from that hamstring injury, I think is going to be a huge, huge plus. Now, Mikal Bridges got to show up. I mean, listen, he worked himself through his doldrums and when he was struggling at the end of the regular season through the first part of the playoffs, but he got things going as the series waned against Atlanta, and he's been fine ever since. That has to continue, make no mistake about it. But the New York Knicks, the way that they've been playing, the way how suspect Cleveland can be defensively, the New York Knicks should win this series. What makes it interesting is that Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley have been playing big time since the last series. How formidable they are could obviously impact this series to some degree. Because if Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson are proven to be non-impactful in this series, that could make things a bit more difficult. But I don't anticipate that happening. I think the New York Knicks will be ready. They will handle their business, and they will close them out in 6 in Cleveland. They will end this series and go back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999.
Oh, okay. Wishful thinking. We'll see what happens here with the Knicks. Game 1 tonight.
Angered. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. up watching this morning, and he said, listening to Michael Wilbon on Get Up just now, talking about the Knicks and Cavs as a junior varsity game compared to what we witnessed last night with OKC and San Antonio and all those red, angry face emojis. What do you have to say to Stephen A.?
I was hoping to get that response. Stephen A's easy to goad, right? So that, listen, I overstated it purposely. It is the undercard, though. Sorry, it's the undercard game. It doesn't mean we won't get a couple of great games in this series, although I don't think we're going to get one tonight in Game 1. And the Knicks, again, the Knicks can beat anybody, I think, right now. I'm hedging after watching San Antonio last night, but it's the undercard. And you don't have the circumstances involved. You don't have a defending champion, which we had last night. You don't have the now, sorry, Joker, sorry, SGA, sorry, everybody, the best player on the planet in this series. You got a lot of nice players. You would love to be a fan. If I'm a fan of the Knicks right now, it ain't last night, and it's not going to be.
Fair enough, but it'll be what it'll be, and we'll see. And the fans in this city have waited over half a century for a shot like this. They've been to obviously they were in Game 7 of the finals in '94, so you can't say they haven't been this close, because obviously they have been literally that close. But this feels, since then, even the '99 run didn't feel like this. This feels like the Knicks really have a formula, and it feels like they should have a decided advantage in this
There's
series.
a tremendous energy in the city right now. There's no doubt about it. And obviously the fans here have been waiting so long for this just to get started. This is going to be a completely different challenge for the Cavs than they had against the Pistons. Jalen Brunson, Karl Towns, the way OG Anunoby is probable for tonight's game, so we expect that he will start. I don't know if he'll get his full minutes, but I expect him to start. This is going to be a huge challenge. What we're going to see here is whether the Knicks layoff has any effect.
Rust versus rest.
The Knicks are, the history tells us that a team that is coming off of a sweep versus a team that is coming off 7 games, historically dominant. It's something like 19-4 in series. The Knicks are appropriately very heavily favored to win the series. But in the situation with the team rhythm versus rust, we have seen repeatedly. And one of the ways that you can get into an upset situation, the first way you get upset in the playoffs is you lose a home game. So the Cavs tonight may have a modicum of a way to try to put some pressure on it if they can keep their rhythm going.
Wendy is absolutely right. And last year, Game 1 is all too familiar in the city of New York in terms of what happened versus those Indiana Pacers. I just have been with these guys all year. We've made it that very clear. I think there is a level of focus about them, though, that to me eclipses the potential. You got to be on red alert, right? But I think that's where they are. And we keep hearing Mike Brown praise them as a veteran group. Like, that was the thing that switched in that Atlanta series to me. It was that veteran poise, the fact that they have been in these moments together that showed up. And I actually think in this case, in this very same Game 1 last year, probably weighs very heavy on them. And so they are on high alert.
Let me ask you this question. If we're looking at it, and sometimes this is not the right way to approach things because everything can be a team effort. But if you're looking at the Knicks tonight and you were to say this is a Karl Anthony Towns game or this is a Jalen Brunson game, based on the matchups and everything else, which is it? Because I'm hearing a lot of people say the Cavs aren't going to be able to match up with Brunson. I feel like the story of the Knicks playoffs has been Anunoby and Towns and Brunson when they need him. He's obviously still brilliant. But does he now step into the middle of it all and to the front of it all in this matchup?
It's a Brunson game. Greeny, Towns has been outstanding. OG Anunoby has been outstanding, but this team has gone as Jalen Brunson has gone. Right. If he was terrible over this series, I'm not sure it's going to look the way it has looked. Karl Anthony Towns has been outstanding. So has OG Anunoby. This entire offense has opened up. But when Jalen Brunson plays well and sets the tempo, as we saw him do in Game 1 versus Atlanta as well at home, things go well.
You expect the Knicks to beat them soundly. We were talking during the break. We watched Game 1 of their series, the Knicks series against the Sixers. Sixers looked spent, absolutely spent. And the scenario is almost exactly the same. The Knicks had been resting, not quite this long, but they had been resting. The Sixers were coming off a 7-game war, and then they went right into Game 1. Do you expect it to look like that tonight?
I do. I expect, they can play their way out of rust after a 7-point halftime deficit. Mm-hmm. They can play their way out of that into the form that we've seen since what, Monica? Game 3 against Atlanta?
4. Mm-hmm.
Game 4 against Atlanta. I expect the Knicks to. I expect this to be like a 5-game series. And it's not to say. I look at Cleveland and I keep wondering, why aren't they better? Why isn't Cleveland better? Why? And I know the bigs don't. Mobley and Allen don't assert themselves all the time, but when they have, whether it was against Toronto, right, or in this last series we saw right through Game 7, everybody wants to talk about the dynamic guard play and those two guys. Okay, fine, because they together can score and may need to score 70 points to get a Game 1 win in Madison Square Garden tonight. It still, to me, is the bigs in Cleveland.
You could play this, what I'm about to say, back tomorrow and use it against me. I'm just going to say sometimes the Cavs are very, very good. And man for man, the Cavs are probably more talented than the Celtics. And definitely
That's why I want to know why they aren't better, because they're so good man for man.
Definitely more talented than the 76ers, and their key player isn't Embiid, who's coming off of a lumbering game. And the Cavs have had some success against Jalen Brunson. Now, Brunson could score 40 tonight. I am certainly not saying it, but the Cavs did have some, and the Cavs had success against Cade Cunningham in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs actually have this guy, Dean Wade, who is 6'10", who they will use as the primary defender on Brunson. When Brunson went up against him this year, Brunson struggled a little bit. And I don't even feel comfortable bringing this up because a regular season game versus now is so different. But Dean Wade at 6'10" is the type of defender you put on Jalen Brunson because the length can sometimes bother him. The defenders have struggled against Dean Wade in this playoffs. Now, what the Knicks will do is they'll have a complete array of strategy to get Dean Wade off of Jalen Brunson. It won't take, magician stuff to do it, but they will do it. They will attack James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. They'll get those matchups. But the Cavs are better than they're kind of being given credit for when they're at their best. Which they may not be.
Maybe they will be tonight. We'll see. Quick final thought.
I get that, Wendy, and I think that's appropriate. I actually got the series going 6 for that reason. But I do think that the difference on the defensive side of the basketball overall, in terms of the Knicks' ability to make the Cavs more uncomfortable, is going to be.
She's right.
We'll have Game 1 tonight.